Stop waiting for the perfect day, because the perfect day is a story your mind tells you to keep you comfortable. It's a fantasy where you wake up early, feel motivated, everything goes smoothly, nobody interrupts you, and the work feels easy. And in that fantasy, you finally start. But real life doesn't hand out perfect days. Real life hands out normal days, messy, loud, tiring, unpredictable. And if you keep waiting for conditions to be ideal, you can lose months, even years, without ever taking the first step. This story is about a person who lived in starting Monday and how one small action, done on an ordinary day, changed everything. Let's call him Alex. Alex wasn't lazy. This matters. He was responsible. A job, bills, messages to answer, tasks to finish. He cared about doing things well, and because he cared, he put constant pressure on himself to do everything the right way. He had real goals: to get in shape, learn a new skill, start a project, and feel proud of himself again. But every time he was about to begin, a familiar sentence showed up. "I'll start on Monday." He said it like a promise and a plan, like Monday was a clean reset button. Monday became his magic word, not because it was special, but because it was safely in the future. On Monday, he imagined he'd have more energy, more discipline, more quiet. But Monday kept arriving, and nothing changed. A typical week looked like this. On Monday morning, Alex opened his eyes and already felt behind. Meetings, errands, emails, responsibilities. He thought, "Today is too crazy. I'll start tomorrow." On Tuesday, "I'm too tired. I need to rest first." On Wednesday, "Half the week is already gone. I'll start properly next week." On Thursday, "This isn't the right time." On Friday, "I'll rest on the weekend and start fresh Monday." Then the weekend came, but it wasn't a blank slate either. Chores, family, recovery, and that deep exhaustion you feel when you've been running on low battery all week. Then Sunday night arrived, and that familiar heaviness returned. Not from work, from the quiet thought he tried to ignore. I said I would start, and I didn't. Again. That's what procrastination really does. It doesn't just delay your goals, it slowly destroys your trust in yourself. Because every time you make a promise to yourself and break it, even a small one, something inside you starts believing you're unreliable. And that turns into heavy labels. I'm not disciplined. I never follow through. Something is wrong with me. And once you believe that, starting becomes even harder. Not because the task is difficult, but because your identity is fighting you. One evening, Alex was sitting on the couch after another hard day. He opened his phone and started scrolling, not because he cared, but because he didn't want to think. Scrolling is what people do when the mind is tired and the heart is disappointed. He watched other people's lives, progress, routines, success. He felt worse, not because they were wrong, but because it reminded him of what he wasn't doing. He put the phone down, and in the silence, the truth caught up with him. Alex whispered, almost like a confession, "I keep waiting for my life to get easier before I start living it." Then he asked himself a different question. Not, "When will I finally feel motivated?" Not, "When will I have time?" He asked, "What is the smallest step I can take today?" Not the perfect step, not the impressive step, the smallest one. So small it would feel embarrassing. So small it couldn't fail. So small his brain wouldn't argue. Alex thought about working out. His usual plan was dramatic. A new program, 5 days a week, perfect diet, the full routine. And every time he imagined it, he felt overwhelmed and did nothing. So he did something tiny instead. He stood up. He did 5 push-ups. That's it. 5. He didn't sweat. He didn't transform. He didn't become a new person in one night. But something strange happened. He felt lighter. Not physically, mentally. Because for the first time in a long time, he didn't end the day as the person who will start later. He ended the day as the person who started. even if it was small, especially because it was small. The next day, life didn't magically improve. He still had work, still had stress, still had low energy, but now he had proof. He could move, even on a hard day. So he took another small step. Not a workout, just a short walk. The next day, 10 minutes of learning. Then, 1 page of planning his project. And then there was a day when he did almost nothing. He slipped. Normally, that would have been the end. See? You never follow through. But this time, he remembered something important. 1 missed day is not failure. It's life. The real failure is turning 1 missed day into a reason to quit. So the next day, he came back, small again. And that's when things truly began to shift. Because the secret isn't motivation. The secret is momentum. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. And you can't build your life on a feeling that disappears. Momentum is created, and it grows from small actions repeated over time. A small action does 3 things. It lowers resistance. The hardest part is starting. It builds identity. Each time you do the small thing, you become the kind of person who does what they said they'd do. And it proves progress is possible in real conditions. Not in a perfect day, but in a normal day. Here's what Alex finally understood. He wasn't waiting for time. He was waiting for confidence. He thought confidence would come first, and then he would act. But confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes from action, from showing up, doing the small thing, keeping a promise. And discipline. Discipline isn't a personality trait. It's a relationship with yourself. And you build it the same way you build trust with another person. Through small commitments you keep consistently. If you're listening to this and you've been waiting for your perfect day, let's make it practical. Don't ask, what huge change should I make? Ask, what is 1 small action I can take in the next 10 minutes? 1 action. Today. Not Monday. Not next month. Today. Examples. Want to get in shape? Do 10 squats or take a 5-minute walk. Want to learn? Open the app and do 1 lesson. Read 1 page. Want to start a project? Create the folder. Write the title. Draft 2 sentences. Want more order? Throw away 1 thing. Make your bed. Clear 1 corner. Want clarity? Write 1 honest sentence. Right now I feel, and finish it. The point isn't the size of the step. The point is the direction, because the perfect day isn't coming. And that's good news. It means you don't need permission from the calendar to change your life. You don't need the right mood. You don't need a fresh Monday. You need a decision. Small. Real. And you need to treat it seriously because every small step is a vote for your future self. Alex didn't become a different person overnight. He became a different person slowly, through small steps on ordinary days. And that's the only kind of change that lasts. So when your mind says, I'll start Monday, answer, no, I start today, small. Then take 1 step. Because once you take 1 step, you're no longer waiting, you're moving. And life only changes when you move. What small step will you take today?